Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Juliet, for those of you who are new to my channel, and I am Colorful Threads Embroidery, and we are going to be working on a cute, fun project today. We're going to be making an in-the-hoop, mushroom-shaped stuffy. There's so many different ones that you can pick from. The design that I'm doing today is actually created by Ohana Applique design, and I just love it and think it's cute. So of course I could have made my own, but sometimes you have things that you got and you just have to stitch them out. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is an in the hoop stuffy. At the end, we'll have to stuff it and actually whip stitch it. So the whole thing is made in the hoop except for stuffing and a little bit of hand stitching, so not that bad. So this is what we're going to do today. Let's get started. I'll kind of give you an idea of what I plan on doing. So this was my test run, which was all some scrap fabrics. Just to kind of get a run through of the project so I have an idea of how it runs. But we're going to break it all down and go through it together. And we're going to stitch it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add some lettering up here. So if you wanted to customize this and add like a name or something or a monogram for somebody, what I'm going to actually add are going to be, I'm still working on my stuff for next month's vending, which is the Orange Blossom Jamboree. So I'm going to put OBJ 2022 on them so that I can have them out for sale as a keepsake little stuffy pillow. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I'll kind of show you my insanity. This is a later project. I'll put it back here, which is going to be more patches. Only we're going to throw a whole new flair on those later. Okay, let's see. So this is how I'm going to start. I'm just going to have to tilt the camera now. All right, fabric. And because this project is really forgiving, I'm going to be able to use up some scraps from other stuff. So here's my bin. So I kind of have a mix of stuff going on because, you know, I'm wanting to pick out stuff for this guy. So he needs just a fabric here, which can be something scrappy, some small pieces here. He's got a section about the size of your hand here and about the size of your hand here. And then the back is a big piece. So for the big piece on the back side, I actually got out some yardage of fabric. I got some tie-dye just so it's nice and fun and creative and flair. This one has more mushrooms on it. And then I have a stack of fabrics that were fat quarter stuff that I had gotten for other things that I never actually did. Random stuff. This stack actually is all the stuff that I had pre-cut, ready to make masks. So I'm going to possibly use some of that. But it's nice prints, stuff to play with for the big pieces. And then all of the small spots, the piece down here and all the dots, I'm going to use my scrap bin. It's a bin of a couple of years worth of projects, cut off pieces, half-used pieces, weird shaped pieces. You know, it's this kind of stuff. And this kind of stuff is going to work great for all of these little pieces in small areas. So I'm going to use up some of that in here. Some stitch outs of stuff are thrown in here. But that's basically what I have. So I'm going to kind of dig through it, find what I want, and each one is going to have its own, it's going to be unique, each one. So I will probably only actually go through one with you today for the project itself. And then I'll make a whole bunch more later. So that's kind of what I plan on doing today. This is one of the things I plan on doing today. Look at that. Okay, stop looking at the fabric. But it's so pretty. All right. That over there. Let's adjust this camera. I'm my own cameraman, you know. Okay. Welcome to the camper. We're actually at home today, so I have good Wi-Fi. We'll move it around as we go. All right, so let's get started by, we're going to go into the software and check out this design. Switch the camera. There's my screen. Okay. So this is the design. And I kind of brought it up so that I could choose a size, because when you get this design, it comes in all of these different sizes. And of course, I'm going to be doing the biggest one. And instructions are always really good, and I kind of just flipped real quick. But page 1 kind of shows you that. We'll go down to page 2. Page 2 gives you a breakdown. We're going to look at that actually in the software. 3 gives you some pictures, what it's going to look like. And then this is the part that I was talking about when you're done turning and stuffing it, you'll have to do just a little whip hand stitch down here. Very simple, easy way to close something off from the outside. And what's the last page? Oh, just varieties, do's and don'ts and things. No reselling. I did put it in the description, but I'll try to make a link to the actual file later, but it's an Ohana design. All right, so design shop. I am going to pick the Jeff because I just like the Jeff file. Oh, it looks like I saved it as an OFM. Well, let's go ahead and open that then. Okay, so here is our design. And so what I need to do is I have to go through this design and see where my stops are, because the step to put the back all the way on and stitch the last fabric down, I want to make sure that before that I have my little description of my letters and things. So I'm going to look over here and see what that is. So I just hide it. There's a little eyeball right here that will hide everything, so I can turn each one on one at a time. There's our little stitch lines. There's the cap placement. Let's see. We got some placement of all, we're stitching down all of the different top circles. There's our outline and placement, some cover stitches, and there's the cover stitches. What is that one? Okay, has eyes, looks like next, face, and then cheekies, and then the last stitch is that one that actually stitches the back piece onto the top. So I think after the, what's going on? Oh, okay. I didn't know I was frozen. Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, my wonderful tech mod. Thank you, Drew. He's amazing. Okay, so what we basically missed was me pulling up and opening the design. Pretty simple, just go to open, and I had saved it, I guess, last time I worked with it as an OFM. And so I'm looking for where my last layer is here, which is that last piece. So right before there is where I want to put in my lettering so that it gets stitched in this big circle bulb of this bubble on the mushroom. And let's see, so we're here, and I'm going to go to the lettering, and here, and I'm just going to do my capital OBJ, enter, OBJ, and I like the font for this. It wasn't Brody. It was a block. It's Bufu. I like the shape of Bufu, and that's the font I've been using for this. Okay. I want it to be sort of like that, I think. Not quite straight. And I'm just kind of moving it around until I think it's going to be a happy space, because this is going to get folded, and that's going to be the edge. Maybe I'll make it just a tad bit smaller. Yeah, that's better. And, you know, this is all one of the hardest parts, is setting up your design and getting it all done. Get an alphabet lettering, and we're going to come in here. We're going to do 2022, because that is this year. Double click and go to my properties and back to my block, Bufu, and OK. And one more click to rotate. And definitely need to make this one just a smidge smaller and a little bit smaller. Okay, it just does weird things. There we go. Maybe rotate just a little more, sort of. There. How's that look? That looks beautiful. It looks great. I want to change the color of these. I'm going to make sure that I do them in orange, because the festival is Orange Blossom Jamboree. So to combine this second lettering into the one right above it is this little, it's kind of a neat little icon. It has two little red boxes, and there's actually arrows there. And there's a blue box below, and it's actually blending the one that you're here to the one above. See how I clicked it and it blended it into the one above. All right, that, and I know that's going to sew right before the end. I think I'm ready. I need to turn around and make sure my screen is moving. Yep. No more technical difficulties today. All right. I'm going to pull up my hoop, see what hoop I had selected. Let's see what, that's the 14 by 11. $17 by 11. Okay. $17 by 11 will work. All right. Now let's get the machine ready. Gonna switch my camera back to the tripod. Oh, yay, it's working. Good. All right, now you guys know me and how much I love my tabletop. So I've got to get that installed. And if you haven't seen this thing, check this out. This is an awesome upgradable piece of equipment to your machine. So this is the large tabletop, and I'll make sure to put a link in the video below. What this does is because my hoop and everything is hanging out, and this is great setup if you're doing like shirts and things, but when I'm doing an in the hoop project and I'm pressing on the stuff in the hoop and I'm putting tape in and I'm putting fabric in and I'm getting in there with my scissors and cutting, I want to be able to push down on things at the level of the needle plate, and that's what this guy does. It lets me work and not accidentally pop my item out of the hoop. So for my machine, the way this install is going to go is I'm going to take off my little cover for my hook, because that dovetail is how this works. It has a compression fitting just like the hat driver does. So I'll loosen these little thumb screws for that. The same piece, just like the hat driver, is going to go in that dovetail. And then it has legs. Once it gets on there, it has legs that will fold down to hold weight on the edge here. All right. Get it up there, and now I can look and see where my lining piece is. Yeah, so I'm lining this up here, getting it in, sliding it all the way in till it stops, just like the hat driver piece. I'm going to tighten these down nice and tight so it doesn't move. All right, put my cover back in. Oh yeah, I have to fix this cover. My piece sticks out too far. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay. I would normally put my cover back on. So now the legs are just going to come down, and there we have it. Now it's nice and stable, and I can press on this, and it's not going to pop things loose. Okay. See if I can get my camera set up here. There we go. Should be good enough, right, to watch me work here? Yeah. Okay. All right. Next is I'm going to be doing my hoop. There it is in the back. I was like, I know I got the big hoop in here. Okay, get my tools out. Nope, my 6mm is already out. That means it's in my little basket. Maybe? Scissors. Yeah, we're going to need those. But I don't have my 6mm Allen wrench. Okay. All right. Double check. Nope. Cutter. Nope. Needles. Ah, it is in here. Haha. It was hiding underneath my poppy pen. I knew it was here. Doesn't go far. All right. That arm underneath. No, not underneath. I keep thinking I'm switching. Where's my coffee? Maybe I'm not awake yet. don't know where my coffee is. Ha, there it is. All right. Get the machine all set up. All right, get these screws in here, nice in the finger, sort of tight to begin with, so it won't play. Because remember, we got to put this in and lock it down with it in place. Is anybody chatting? Joni, hello, good morning. Hello, Mom. Brenda is my mom. Hi, Mom, good morning. Making some stuffies this morning, working through our technical difficulties. Thanks for joining. I love doing in the hoop projects. It's probably my favorite thing to do when I don't have to do production. And even then, I'm working it into a way to do production. Okay, now I'm going to slide with these loose. I'm going to slide my hoop in, make sure it all locks, make sure it locks, and then I'm going to press in and make sure everything is snug and where it needs to be. Double check my finger tightness on my screws, and now I'm going to actually do that quarter of a turn, tighten them down. Snug. I just need it snug so it doesn't vibrate loose. Snug and snug. Okay, that is snug. Put my wrench out of the way. All right, now I'm going to switch to my overhead camera so that we can get it hooped. My bobbins, in case I need a bobbin. Let's check that now. I'm going to check the bobbin real quick. I haven't done my morning maintenance. Check my bobbin tension is good. Bobbin is good. I'm going to put a drop of oil in there. Oiling in here, getting it ready. I got all my fabrics ready, but I did not get the machine ready. So we could do that together. Okay, that's ready. Bobbin is good. I'm going to put this underneath. Can move my fabrics. Up to the side. Now, for this project, I'm going to use tearaway. So I'll get my roll of tearaway out. Oh, my scissors. Okay. Move this off the table. It's going to have to be a lot tighter than that. It's going to be almost snug all the way together because this is going to be really thin. Okay. Not going in. There we go. Nice and tight. Good. Everything is leveled. The side needs leveled. All right. Backing is hooped. All right. Now I'm going to go over to the other camera. So yeah, when I'm in here and I'm doing stuff, I'll be able to push down. Love this table. Okay, that's locked in. Oh, let me switch the camera. I'm like getting ready to load the design. All right, screen. So from here, we're going to load this to the machine. And because I'm working in version 11 Design Shop and also version 11 operating system, for the EMT16, I can just click the quick button for load design. If, maybe, oh, didn't even have the operating system open, haha. It's launching it for me. But it gave me the advanced. We're going to switch this over to the simplified user interface. I'm going to drink some coffee. There it is. Okay, perfect. So I think I'm kind of done with Design Shop. Now over here, I'm going to set up my hoop first because I'm way out of the hoop limits. So I got to change this to my 17 by 11. There we go. Now I'm going to set my colors. Let's see. Colors. Oof, this is going to be the hard part. There's like 20 color changes. That's fine. We can do this. So the first one is going to show me my placement stitch for the whole thing, I believe. Let me double check. Hide it all. Turn on 1. That needs to be a better color for sure. There we go. Orange. Yes. So the first one gives me back piece, which I believe I only actually see the yellow, the bottom half. Okay. So placement stitch, we're going to do a nice bright color on the machine so I can see it. We're going to do that color. And then I need a stop so that it'll wait for me to add some fabric. And then step 2 was a tack down stitch. Two and 4 was for the for the tack. Okay. So I think the way this is if you wanted multiples, like a fabric for here and a fabric for down at the bottom, but I'm gonna do that one again in the blue, and we will put in a stop. And the step 3. See, I keep flipping back and forth just to make sure that I get what I'm looking for. Step 3, step 4. Okay, so step 3, we'll do a stop after that one as well. And then step 5, step 4. Okay, so that's going to tack the mushroom top down. All right, so 3 and 4 is the top. And that can be, yeah, let's just keep going with the teal. Five. Okay. So then color 5 is the placement stitches. So we're going to just let that one stitch through. Placement stitches for the circles. And then I believe 6, 7, 8, and 9 are for each bubble. 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6, 7, 8, and 9 to stitch those down. And I'm thinking maybe so you can make each one a different color, which is interesting because the last color is this one, which is like the over. That's not even the one that goes over. Where's the red that goes over? It must be this one. There's only one color. Yeah. So I guess those could be combined. So we're just going to do all of those with without a stop. All right, back to 5. 5 did the placement stitch. So we definitely, after 5, need a stop so we can add our colors. Then we're just going to attach 6, 7, 8, and 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then 10 is the center part for the heart. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 does the placement stitch. So then after 10, I need another stop. And then 14. No, wait, is that 10 there? 10 there. Yeah, 10. Because 11, 9. All right. Hide everything. Got a mess. 10, placement. 11, tack down. 12, decorative. Okay. So I put this one in the wrong place. So 10, outline. 11, tack down. 12, cover stitch. That's the orange. Perfect. Okay. But I want it to be, because he's going to have a red heart, we do want that nice and red. Okay. Now we get into colors. So his little paws or hands need to be, let's do those orange. Okay. And this is going to be, oh, the circles here. Let's do those in black. Yeah, that'll make whatever colors we choose pop. Then we have, it looks like this is, let's make it bright yellow. That's his eyelashes. Eyelashes black. And then this one is, I think that's his actual eyes. No, that's eyelashes too. Black. Turn black. There you go. All right. So then this one must be his actual eyes. Yes. Okay. That needs to be black. All right. So then the gray here needs to be white because that's the little sparkle in his eyes. Okay. And cheeks. We'll make his cheeks nice and red. Oozy cheeks. Then we have our lettering for our OBJ. And then we have black, which is going to tack down the last. So after this stitches, I need to stop so that I can add the back fabric. So we're going to grab another applique, put that in at 19. Oh, that was a lot to set up. There's a lot of pieces for this guy. So let's see if I can get it right the first time through without messing up. All right. Setup is ready. Oh, da, 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 da. All right, we're ready to switch back cameras to the tripod. Anna, do you use a gauge to measure your bobbin tension? I actually don't have a gauge. I should be using a gauge for my bobbin tension, but I actually don't have one. Every time I get one for myself, somebody else needs it more, so I end up selling it to them, and so I never end up keeping one for myself. But I'm getting pretty good at being able to judge my bobbin tension after, 20 years. So, all right, let's get this project started. Design is set. We are ready. I'm going to make sure my presser foot is all the way down. The last thing I did was hats. And my threads are threaded. I'm using red, orange for sure. Black is threaded. All my needles are good. Red, orange, black. I'm using white as well. And oh yeah, the teal is the one that we're tying everything down with, and that needle is good as well. All right, we're ready for our first placement. And pick fabric. These are all so pretty. See, that's the hard part. That one's rather interesting. That one's leaves. We got some fall leaves. Ooh, I like that. Oh, that would be one that I had pre-cut for mask fabric. That's fine. I like that one. I think that looks kind of interesting, because this is going to be our bottom fabric. And I'm looking, I think I want the little like shrubbery looking pieces to go up. And I need it to go all the way over to here. Alright, that covers my whole section. And my tape dispenser is here. This fabric has not been treated, pre-treated with any kind of applique, stabilizing material like Applique Magic, so it's just raw material. So I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't move, because it's not as stiff. So we'll tape that down and hit next. So I think it stitches a line here. yeah. I'm gonna trim the extra. Guess it wouldn't really matter. It's gonna be on the inside of this pillow, so I could probably just leave this fabric and it'll be just fine. We're just gonna leave it. There we go. Doesn't matter. This isn't pretty. Doesn't have to be pretty. Now the top half of my mushroom is gonna have the dots on it, so let me pick something for that. So it's going to have some decorative aspect to it, so maybe a little bit more muted. I'm going to be using going to have red and orange. Ooh, let's do this brown. Yeah, that would be great. Let's see what that size looks like. Yeah, that'll work perfect right there. If I can keep from losing my scissors. This is the part where each one of these are going to be kind of unique. I might leave all of the stitching colors the same just to give that a little bit of continuity, but all my fabrics are going to change. I think this will work really well with the top half of this. Alright, so this one I'm going to flip. Move the camera. So this one I'm going to do, because it's going to do a stitch here, so I can fold it back and have a seam that doesn't show. So this one I'm going to do face down on this half just for a second. Yeah. Alright. Now this one I'm going to flip. So we're going to flip this fabric over. That way my seam right here is nice and pretty. Because this is going to be seen. So let me flip it over. And I'm just going to finger press all of this down. Finger press and pull it back and tape it in place. Because now it's going to come and sew around the edge and attach that well so that we don't get any shift and distortion in our design. That should be plenty. Okay, let's stitch that part. Puckered it just a little. I see where I should have taped it. I guess I should have taped it here on the instead of out here, because right here is where it like puckered just a little. But it's gonna be a stuffy when it's done, so you won't really see it. I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so now I got to do colors of dots. And that's where the big bin comes into play. So I'm going to be picking fabrics while that's sewing. Let's see. It's going to be orange when it's done. That is a brown. Let's see. All right. So it's going to have black around here. And it's going to have orange there. Definitely liking that like muted flower. We could do a purple one here. Or should we do them all the same? Yeah, picking fabrics. This is always the fun part. I'm not going to take too much time because it's not highly critical. The fabrics that I pick, it's all about making it fun and not making it so stressful. It is a day off kind of project. Can't really tell what it is there, right? Put the flower here. That'll be cute. A flower, yeah. Leave that one there and that one there. And then behind the orange, let's do a contrasty. That's not big enough. Maybe I should do my satin there. The purple satin there. What do you think? I think it looks good. We're going to go with it. It's meant to be fun. I'll switch back over. I do need to tape these down for sure. So I'll tape these real quick and then we're going to hit go and it's going to stitch them all at once and then we'll trim them. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, now would be a good time. If you like what you're watching and you like my tutorials, give me a thumbs up. Alright, I think this purple satin is going to be really pretty. This is definitely going to be for a girl. Not that I care. Everybody's entitled to like what they like. Alright. We're going to say feminine. How's that? Alright, there we go. They're all taped in place. I just got to kind of watch this guy. Maybe I'll put a little piece of tape on him, keep him down so he doesn't get trapped in the machine. Alright. Ready. Ready? Ready? We're in. We're locked. Start. Get my stick. I am using I use a stick So you can still hear me while the machine's running. I use a stick. I had Chinese food where I had a really fancy stick with the printing and stuff on it. So you can see the tip has got, who knows, probably glue maybe. I've sharpened it several times, but this will keep my hands out of the machine. Oh, well that doesn't work at all. That is color 12. I had 12 programmed. Well, 12 is Vermilana thread. That's not gonna, that's hilarious. Okay, we're gonna change 12 because that is obviously not the color I thought I was selecting. To, let's just switch it to 11. Yeah, we're just gonna go 1 over. And I'll have to change the programming for that. Forgot that was Vermilana. Picked the wrong color in the design. And you went back to 12. Okay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be cute. It got the flower. It got the flower. And it went back to 12 again. Yeah, I gotta. Let's go back a color. Change the color. There we go. All right, I'm going to switch the camera because we're going to have to trim these all out. Okay. Now, it stitched my piece here, so I'm going to have to put that down as well. So maybe we'll save a couple of pieces of tape. Just pin that down. I just have to decide now. The fabric, I think I want to do like a red one since it is a heart, so we'll pick fabric. This one still has Vermilana on it. That's hilarious. I can't believe it actually stitched a little bit. That's fine. It's going to be underneath. Okay. And I have a little bit of purple left for another project. And I'm just going to get rid of the little stuff. Okay, let's pick a red for this part. What do I have? that doesn't have any fun stuff on it. There was a red in here I liked. This one caught my eye. What do we think about that? Gonna hold on to that. Sorry, I'm digging. I'm looking in the bin. I got a swirl. I don't know. I'm kind of not really thrilled about solid red. I feel like it's all gotta have texture and color. That's not big enough. Ooh, here's a red satin. That could work nicely. Yeah, let's go with a piece of the red satin. Here's a corner. Yeah, that's big enough. Absolutely perfect. Okay. All right, let's stitch this down. Looks like I might need a little bit more tape right here. This stuff is so like wiggly. It is satin, and it does have a tendency to be slick. So I'm gonna reuse my other tapes, maybe if I can get them off here, and just attach it down from all sides. No chance of it moving around. There we go. There we go. All right, let's stitch this. Should I still have it? I still have it on 12. Okay. Red, we're going to move that to 13. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Back over to my overhead. Trim this out. I'm throwing my scissors on the floor. Coffee. That worked good. So this fabric's not fully tacked down. These are the ultimate machine embroidery scissors. Love these. They are fabulous. I actually like these more than the duckbill, which they developed for doing applique. The duckbill just doesn't, I don't know, it's too wide and I can't kind of get it very well. But that's me. Everybody uses different scissors. Whatever works best for you and your hands and your fingers and your situation is what you need to use. There. Voila. Okay. Now then, I think it's just going to do some sewing. I am going to go back to the software though real quick and make sure I don't have number 12 programmed in. So let's check that. Make sure we don't have 12 anymore. No, see, it was way back here. So and I thought it was just going to be gray. And I swapped gray for the Burmalana. There. All right, no more 12s, even though I know it's not doing any more of them. Now we can hit start and let this run. I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Double check that you're always locked in. I can't tell you how many times I have forgotten and left one of these sides unlocked. Now I gotta figure out a fabric to go on the back, which I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think for the back I'm gonna use this, the tie-dye. I have yards and yards of it, so. About that wide. And I should have found my fabric scissors before I got started because these are not them. Now that's ready. We're just stitching now, watching it run. Let me find my coffee. It's the always hunt for the coffee. That looks really good. Oh, it puckered. See? It's like there needs to be another row of stitching around this base part because it puckered the fabric over there. Like this top half. Like I need to add another stitch around the bottom. Yeah, I did do it correctly. Flip the fabric over. I did it just like the instructions. Ah, so she didn't put any extra fabric on the bottom. That's why. The base fabric, she's using fabric underneath, so that would have been stitched down. Got it. Yeah, puckered. That's fine. It'll be a pillow. I'll keep it for myself. Nothing else. Why does your machine look so much shorter than mine? Anna. Okay, Anna, so in my videos, if you go back and look, I did a video where, because my machine travels in the camper, and you know when you're in a camper, because that's where we are, we're in my camper. So we're in the camper, and so it happened, it was my wheels that came on my cart. The wheels are extended below the base, and we originally had a floor mat that raised the front wheels up by an inch, and the back wheels were lower. And we went down this crazy bumpy road that was under construction. And after that, I realized that the machine was rubbing the wall and it wasn't looking level. And the wheels in the back had buckled and bent on my cart. So I had to take the wheels off, cut my cart, which there's a video for that, and mount new wheels. And so now my machine does sit, I think it's a total of like 5 inches shorter than it should. So I've had to reconstruct my cart. That's why mine is shorter. Oh my gosh, that looks so cute. I captured the flower I captured the flower in that fabric, and then the bubbles, circles in that fabric. Fussy cutting can be so much fun. I'm excited for it. It's going to be cute. I thought, damn, she's super tall. Yeah, no. There's a video. I actually had to have my brother help me cut it and everything. It was a whole big thing, so I made a video about it. But my machine technically is out of warranty, so I can alter the cart. Really, you could alter the cart if you wanted to. That's not covered anyways under any warranty, so I have all kinds of things. I have this cute little magnetic. Goes, I think, in like a school locker, right? It's got magnets on it with all my pencils and oil, and there's too many pens in here right now. It becomes a catch-all. There we go. Pencils, my needle changing, screwdrivers in here. Yeah, and too many pens. We'll leave one in there. But it's magnetized to the side of my cart. Over here. Handy. Sometimes I move it to the side. And then on this side, if my camera will go there. All right, I'll just grab it. It won't go that far. I'm at the end of my rope. But I have this, which is a magnetic basket. It's got magnets. And this is where I have all of my hat clips, fabric clips, any kind of clips that I need, and it goes on the side. Most of the time I keep it on the other side, but it just, my cover is one of the last covers that were actually metal, so it will stick to it. So if your magnets don't stick to this, they actually made this lighter weight and changed it to aluminum. So not every cover is magnetic like mine. Just check your cover first, you know. She's coming alive. She's got eyes. I think what it has left is the cheeks, then we're going to flip it and do the back side. Yeah, definitely should have taped that corner. Caught it and puckered it here, but like I said, it's going to be, that will fold in, so it won't be that. I keep wanting to walk into the camera, and I gotta walk the opposite way. Maybe I'll change it. I'll put the OBJ really bigger in the bubble for the next one, and I'll put the 2022 down in there. Number 8, 6, 7, 8. What is 8? I don't need 8. I need, this is going to be the letters, so I actually need orange, which is 10. Yeah, not 8. 8 is a flesh tone. That's why it's my first time. It's always your first time, even if you've been doing embroidery for 20 years. It's my first time making this. Well, technically it's not. It's my second, but once I get it down, I'll probably make maybe 10 of these. I'll have to see how much stuffing I have. Polyfill for the inside of them. That'll determine how many I make. My limiting factors, my supplies. Oh, cute. Definitely like the orange on the purple. I could just sit and watch the machine stitch all day. Ooh, I guess I need to put a trim in between those letters. I'll work on that. So my design. So I was going to move the date down here. Like that. And ROJ. Like that. There we go. I think I like that. But yeah, I think the way I'm making it, because I'm actually putting a half piece there and a half piece there, I almost need like another stitch here. Let's do a bean stitch and then like there. After that one. That's the walking stitch, then it does this one, and we're going to add a color change to that. There, that'll hold it down for me. The way I'm doing it. Okay. All right, back to the machine. No, now we're going to go to, we need to go to the overhead camera. Okay, overhead camera. We're going to pull it off the machine, bring it over. So I'm going to trim this little guy here. That will get folded over and that will get folded. See how it puckered right here because I just, this one part. I taped this side but not that side, you see? It's fine. We'll fold it and see what it looks like. Like I said, worst case scenario is I keep it for myself. Or I can give it away to a little kid that shows up. All right, there, now it won't do it anymore. Okay, so this last piece we're put over top, and it's going to go face down from the very top all the way down to the end. And we're just going to cut it the size of the hoop because I don't want to accidentally cut it short. Okay. And it's going to go face down. So we're sandwiching these two pieces because it's going to come back and sew this down, and then we're going to turn it. It's going to leave an opening here, and we're going to turn it there. I believe that's where we are. I'm going to double check. Yes, it did that. Yep, that's the last thing. Here to there. Okay. Tape it down over here, and I'm going to tape it down over here. And at the four ends, nope, that's not going to work. Maybe that will. There we go. Okay. I'm the mad taper. And when I'm not the mad taper is when things shift and move. See? Okay. And I'm going to watch it. Okay, switch the camera so we can see what's going on. All right. Okay, now I'm ready. We're going to hit start. Yeah? Oh, I got to get out of the screen. Haha. Where's my stick? Here it is. Got it. I'm keeping my hands away by using the stick, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't like pucker any extra fabric. I mean, not that it'll really make a difference because it's going to end up being a pillow. But we'll see. Done. Okay. Switch the camera back to our overhead. Technically, the design is finished. All right. So now then, what we have left to do is pop it out. Get it out of the hoop. Get all of my attachments. I like to make sure my hoop's clean of stuff. We'll get it moved out of the way. All right. Now, we're just going to trim it. So I'm looking at the way this design is done. There's some stitching here. So I want to trim it for the outermost stitching, so I'm going to fold it over to the back side. Got my tearaway off here. Yeah, and I don't want to cut any of these stitches, and I want to trim right to the outside edge of them. So that's what we got to do next. And I'm going to leave like about, you know, a normal quarter to a half an inch. And I'm leaving a little bit longer here where it's going to turn and just trim this out. Next project, I'll make sure to find my good fabric scissors so I can do more than a tiny little snip at a time. there, and again, I'm going to come out and leave space here where it turns now. I think I'm going to rip out the rest of this backing just so that it's not quite so stiff with it later. It has served its purpose in holding everything together while I stitch it all on the machine. And I don't have to be perfect with this because it's going to all just be inside the pillow and disappear, so I'll leave the ones around as latches. There. I think this is going to be so cute. Alright, now all I have to do is turn it and stuff it. So I'm going to turn it through that little slit that's left. I'll get my trusty stick because it has a rounded end on it so that I can get in there and poke it without damaging any of it. Find all my corners, poke out all my corners. That bottom corner and one more corner over here. There. There he is. He looks super cute. He's kind of wrinkly, but that's okay. Because once I add fabric into this guy and polyfill and I stuff him, he's going to fluff out nice. So I'll get him all stuffed. And then you'll do that little whip stitching on the bottom where you just go from one side and then over and then pull it and it will make it disappear like this right here. So you can kind of sort of maybe see that there's like a red dot there and a red dot there. I used red thread to stitch it. And when you're done, you have a nice soft fluffy three-dimensional stuffy. So I'll get this one stuffed and I'll use him to post a picture to the thumbnail. Super cute. I did the biggest one. Make him as big as possible. So, this is going to be my fun Sunday. Let's see. Go back to the tripod. Alright guys, so if you are new to my channel, it would be nice if you would give me a subscribe. It would also be fabulous if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. And thank you for stopping by and joining me on this cute little project where we made a stuffed little stuffy pillow. I keep wanting to call it a pillow, but it's a stuffy, I think, technically. This is the one that we actually made today. I'm going to stuff him and get him stitched and finished up, but he's going to look just like this, only different colors. Another cute way to personalize a cute little thing. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out and learning a new thing and playing on the machine and having a good time creating products that are fun to sell. Have a fabulous and wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!